So let's quickly recap what we have here. We have our character and we can zoom into first person and we can look down ourselves, and it looks pretty good, and everything is actually looking okay also when I'm carrying the weapon, and we don't have any wall clipping going on, so that would allow us to look through the wall. This is actually working pretty well. So this little extra tutorial is actually just for the fun and challenge. So for this I will put the camera a little bit further back, so it's only 5 centimeters away, and that causes the camera to pop inside his head, as you can see. But it also makes a little bit more distance to the gun, so actually I think this looks a little bit better. So in order to make this work, we actually need to want to do something like separating the head from the body and hide the head when we are in first person, and then only show the body when he's in first person, and then re-show the head when he's in third person. So in order to do that, I got inspired by this guy called Hitpulse from RATSGAME, and if you haven't seen this video where he shows how to sync animate that armor, I highly suggest that you go check it out. It's pretty cool, I think. So let's go into 3dsmax. And I must warn, this is the third time I've been inside 3dsmax, so 3dsmax people, don't hate me for this. I'm a noob, I know, and I will eventually get better at it, I promise. Anyway, what we need to do first is to take our little skeleton here, SK mannequin, and make sure he is exported so we can work with him. And I see I've already done it, but let's just replace that. And then we will import it from our desktop here. And the way Hitboss did this in his video was to import it, I think, and then make a lot of adjustments. But I found that actually if you just leave this to centimeters or change this to centimeters when you import it and then export it as inches, you don't really need to do all this stuff. So let's see. We still have this extra root node we want to get rid of, so click that and hit delete. And then we want to click this mesh and click the editable mesh, and click this one and hit Alt W to turn into full mode view. And I think it's up here, you can say show edged faces. Yes. I have to get used to this way of navigating. I'm used to Unreal Engine. So I found that you can use this fence tool, and let's make sure that we click the SK mannequin and the editable mesh and the polygon, and then we can drag around here to select his head. So let's just swing around and see if we missed something, and we did. So let's hold Shift and Control and also select that. So let's swing around. Do we have everything we want? Looks pretty okay for a rough selection for now. So I'll hit delete to remove that the head. And he has this kind of a color thing around here, and we also want to get rid of that. So let me switch to this one, and I found that ignore visible edges works pretty well. So I can click some things here and just hit delete in between until I have something that looks okay, and I'll try to do this as fast as I can. Maybe you want to get rid of this also, yeah. have some stuff here. Let's get rid of that and that. I think maybe we should also get rid of that inner one here. Okay, so whoa, I think this is okay for now. Yeah, let's go with this. So we will hit export here, and I'll go into my new folder here, and I will rename this to the body. And as mentioned, make sure you go with inches here. Sorry. And yeah, the way I do it is to just start over and don't save, re-import my my SK mannequin and do it again. Remove the extra root node and click the SK mannequin and start over again, and this time I will remove the body. So we click editable mesh, click the polygon, and this time I will just select this. I think maybe that was a bit too much. Something like this. And what are we left with? Let's get rid of that one. So that's probably good. I have no idea actually. So anyway, this is just a demonstration because I know people out there know way better ways to do this. So I'll just export this and click export and name this the head. And hit OK. So let's return to Unreal Engine and import these two new parts. So I want to make sure that I select the skeleton, our existing UE4 mannequin skeleton, and I want to make sure that I don't get these dummy materials, and I don't want to create any physics assets. So I just import these two. I've seen a few glitches happen when I do this, so I want to first check that inside the animation, if I just pick something, that the animation is looking okay, because sometimes it screws up, and I want to check the same with the head. Also pick some kind of, and it looks okay. Looks like I have something, a little artifact out there, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so inside our base character blueprint we have the mesh that currently has the SK mannequin, and I want to be the body, but I also want a new one, a new skeletal mesh. So let's add a new one, and we'll call this the mesh head, like this. And instead of having the SK mannequin on this primary mesh, I will change this out with the body, and I will take this mesh that I just added, and I make this a child of my main mesh, and I will make sure that this is the head. And for some reason it's already there. Okay, anyway, hit compile. So one thing we might need to adjust is the location, because if we just play now, his head is gonna be up in the air and turning the wrong direction, and it's gonna look really weird. So let's pop this down to 0, 0, and 0. So now his head is in place, almost. It's not really following the animation, but we'll fix that. It still looks pretty funny. Okay, Let's fix this. We do this by going into the construction script of the base character blueprint, and I have some stuff with the boom length here, and I chucked this away down here, which is setting the base master base post component. And what it does is to take our mesh, our current mesh, and we want to say that the head mesh should follow that same well, animation as our main mesh. So that's actually what all we need to do to get this working. So now the head is following the same animation. If I jump, he follows around. So everything looks normal again. So we still haven't really, we still have the head is still in the way when we zoom in. So we want to fix this now. So inside our camera zoom, we have this logic we looked at before, and I might have done some of this off video, but I added a new function to control how far down I can look. And if I quickly just take a look at how this is put together, this is basically just using the player camera manager and using this to set the minimum and maximum pitch. And by doing this, I am restricting the angle that the player can look when, for example, I'm in first person. I don't want him to be able to look all the way down, because that way he would be able to look down through himself. So he can only look 70 degrees down. So we want to add another little thing. There's this little guy down here. I put away, and we'll make space for him by dragging out like this and putting him in here. Alright, what this does is to say if set owner no see. So this basically says that we as owner do not want to see this mesh, which will be the head mesh, if this is true. So, or based on this bool here. So let's try this out now. So if we walk around and zoom in, now we can look down without being blocked, our view being blocked. It actually looks a little bit funny because we can actually see where the head used to be. And another little side effect of this is if we turn around now, we don't have any head, as you can see on our shadow. But actually you can fix this pretty easily. And here comes the shadow back, and there goes the shadow. Anyway, we can click the head mesh, and we can go to details and type hidden. And there's something called hidden shadow that will actually allow the head to cast a shadow even though it's hidden. So if we zoom in again, we still have a shadow now. And we can look down ourselves and not being blocked by the head's view. So that is actually what I wanted to show in this video. Yeah. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment, and otherwise hope you liked it, and click subscribe if you want to get more updates on this little hobby project of mine. Thank you, bye.